Welcome into a Thursday edition of Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery. Today on the show, anything that we take away from this Braves and Mets series. The Bulldogs may have the best position group in college football, and it ain't what you think. And also, I've got one name that, hey, why not? Let's roll the dice for the Falcons. It's up next. It's Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked on Sports Atlanta.
This is Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery, part of Locked on Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked on Sports Atlanta. We ask you to head over to youtube.com. When you get there, put Locked on Sports Atlanta into the search browser, find our page, hit that subscribe button. Of course, free and available on all your favorite podcast platforms as well, including Spotify and Odyssey. Give us a 5-star review if you would. And, of course, give me a follow on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. Last night, I guess more yesterday afternoon, Braves and Mets wrapped up this little 3-game series, and Charlie Morton got beat around a little bit, gave up 4 runs, and that was it for the Braves. They gave up 7 last night, and they lose the series 2 out of 3 games to the New York Mets. Now, do we glean anything from this? Is there anything that we take away? The Braves right now for the season are 3-4 against the Mets. So there's still quite a bit of baseball to be played, right? You're going to play 19 times against the teams in your division. So there's still a dozen games that are left. Right now, I'm not really worried about what we've seen with Braves and Mets. I mean, the division will be decided by what those two teams do against each other head to head, right? Braves are about to start a 4-game set against the Washington Nationals before the All-Star break. Wouldn't surprise me if the Braves get themselves on a 4-game winning streak, right, going into the break, because the Nationals are the most dreadful, god-awful, pawn scum organization that's in baseball right now. They're an awful franchise right now. So I'm not going to be surprised if Braves go in there and beat the daylights out of them. Where we're going to really watch, though, is, and we still have several weeks before this takes place, is starting on August 4th. Because to me, this is when the rubber meets the road. Will be August 4th when the Braves go to Gotham to play the Mets for are you ready? 5-game set. Now, remember, there's all of these weird schedule quirks this year because of the condensed, spring training and this, that, and the other, and starting the season late and blah, 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 blah. Now, the Braves will start a stretch where they go from August 2nd until August 9th, until August 7th, I should say, August 7th, where they're going to play all games in a row. So they're going to play 7 games in a row before they get their next day off, and right before that, they'll have a day off. So it'll be in the middle of a 7-game stretch. But that August 3rd through August 7th stretch against the Mets, to me, that's really going to have a lot more definition about where we're headed for this season. Are the Braves more ready to win the division, or are the Braves more going to have to start talking about potential wild card? And you can tell me about a whole bunch of games left and all this kind of stuff. I'm with you. I get it. I understand. But let's be honest. The Mets aren't going to lose to the Nationals and the Marlins and teams like that. They're not going to lose a whole bunch of series to those kinds of teams. The Braves aren't going to lose a bunch of series to these bad teams, right? And mostly the Mets and the Braves, by and large, have played through a lot of their toughest competition. Braves obviously have already made their West Coast trip. They played the Dodgers. They're done with the Dodgers, so they don't even see the Dodgers in the second half of the year. They've got plenty of matchups on their own against the Pirates and, the Nationals, obviously, and the Marlins and things like that. Philadelphia, another team, in the division. But this is still going to be decided on who goes and wins this series head-to-head. Now, we'll talk more about this here in just a second, but let me talk to you about my friends over at BlueNile.com. It is summertime. Love is in the air, right? You may be thinking about getting engaged. No better place to put together that custom engagement ring than BlueNile.com. You're looking for an anniversary gift. You got a birthday coming up, something just you want to celebrate your love with somebody. No better place to go than BlueNile.com. A couple of awesome things that they have right now are, if you're looking to get engaged, use the Build the Engagement Ring of Our Dreams. Use that tool that they have online at BlueNile.com. You can choose the shape, size, clarity, and setting style of your diamond, and also get that perfectly handcrafted engagement ring, one of a kind, unique, obviously. And if you got somebody that you want to share a special moment with, anniversary, like I said, birthday, whatever like that, 24/7, there's experts on hand. You go to BlueNile.com. You can talk to one of their online experts 24/7, and they can help you figure out the perfect gift. We've got a special going right now for our Locked On Atlanta Sports listeners. That is $50 off, $500 or more. So if you're a Locked On Sports Atlanta listener, you want to get $50 off, $500 or more over at BlueNile.com. You use the code Locked On, LOCKEDON, Locked On, LOCKEDON. Go there now. Put that code in when you get ready to check out. Every order, is insured, ships free, and it arrives in a discreet package, so you don't have to worry about her knowing exactly what it was that you bought or any kind of tips or anything like that to let her know something special is up right now. So use the code Locked On, LOCKEDON. Use that code, get $50 off your first $500 order, and she's going to love what you have for her out there. BlueNile.com is the place to get your jewelry with it. So, look, between now, the All-Star break and things like that, look, the Braves have Washington to finish up the first half of the season. They'll host the California Angels. Then it's at Philly, Arizona, Philly. So you're getting a bunch of these teams before you get yourself ready for the Mets. And again, they'll see the Mets come middle of August as well. So you're going to have a stretch where you're going to have 9 games with the New York Mets in the month of August. To me, that's more where this division is really going to be decided, especially starting with that 5-game road trip up in New York and Gotham to take on the Mets. 3 and 4, okay, it sort of is what it is at this point. It's hard to get too panicked about anything when we're not even at the All-Star break yet and this and the other. Would you have liked to seen the Braves take, keep home field advantage and protect their home field against the division leaders? Yes. And the Braves are going to have some work to do. Braves are only 2.5 games out, but again, when you're not playing the New York Mets, you have to win while they have to lose, right? So you have to hope that they're going to lose to whatever vagabond team and such that they're playing out there. So not really much to be concerned about. Obviously game 1 against Max Scherzer, and this is where it's going to be very interesting, is now the Mets have Scherzer back. Now they're expecting to get DeGrom back, right? Probably sometime after the All-Star break, DeGrom will pop his head up and, make his 4 or 5 starts before he goes back on IR again. But anyway, that is a bit of a game changer, a bit. I mean, obviously, if DeGrom is healthy and he can pitch like he normally does, yeah, it's a big game changer. And you saw how good Max Scherzer was. But you've got plenty of opportunity to try to take care of your business head-to-head against the Mets. So the month of August is going to be, to me, really kind of that telltale sign. You'll have 9 games in the month of August against the New York Mets, and that 5-game series up in New York, that's when we can start to talk about things about, okay, where are we at? Even if the Braves, let's say, go 2-3 against the Mets in that 5-game series, okay, you're right. You're going to be right there in the mix for the division race. Now, look, you go 1-4, 0-5, something crazy against the Mets in that 5-game series, then there might be some questions about, okay, are we going to win this division? Are we going to be the team to beat this year in that division? Because the Mets are not going away. I mean, give the Mets credit. They've handled their business against the Braves. When they've had to line up against the Braves this year, they've handled their business. They're 4-3 against the Braves. So they've done what they needed to do, right? It's not like the Mets, when they've lined up against the Braves, have tanked and choked and, have just kind of stubbed their toe and faltered in all of it. They have a winning record against the Braves. They've taken advantage of that situation. You have to give them some credit for it. But we do have a long way to go. But we say that, but we are on the downside of the schedule. Maybe a long way to go because it's a 162-game season, but there are less games to play than what have already been played. And that month of August, in that 9-game set, and especially the 5 up in New York, that'll give us a much better flair and taste and feel and look and touch and all that kind of stuff about where this division is headed. All right, when we come back, the Bulldogs may have the best position group in all of college football, and it may surprise you where it is. Talk about that next on Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.